Water, the most abundant natural resource on the planet. It is absolutely essential to life. We cannot survive without it. It nourishes, replenishes, and hydrates our bodies. Water can be beautiful, tranquil, and relaxing. It can be strong, majestic, and powerful. We are all blessed to have access to this amazing natural resource.
Unless that water gets into the fuel for your paramotor, then hey guys, how's it going today? Scary Bear coming at you. I appreciate you tuning in. So today, I'd rather be flying, but it's kind of cold and nasty out anyway. So we're going to take care of a little problem that we ran into the other day. Let me tell you a story, right? So me and Graham was getting ready to go for a flight and his paramotor just would not start. He had this fuel right there in it and it just would not start. So we pulled, we looked at it, we looked at the spark plug, we checked the ignition, we tried everything. And then in the bottom of that paramotor fuel cell, we seen a line, right? About that far. All it was doing was sucking water, guys. So we have to go nearly 30, 35 miles out of town to get ethanol-free fuel, which we get. So when we go, we get 40, 45 gallons at a time. We fill those things up. I think I spent like $280 to get fuel that day. And it's all bad, right? All that fuel is bad because every one of these jugs have about that much water in the bottom. But let me see if I can show you. I'm gonna stick this light down here and turn it on. And if you look down here toward the bottom, you'll see that difference, that separation right there. I think you can see it on the one that even has, yeah, there's not as much in that one, but you can definitely see that line in the bottom. And it's that way in all of them, guys. So what has happened is water and fuel, if you don't already know, separates. They will not mix. So when you get fuel that has water in it, water is heavier than the fuel and it will settle to the bottom. Paramotors won't run on water last I knew. It'd be nice if they did, it'd be a little cheaper, but the last I checked, they will not run on water. So we've got to get that water out of there. Now something I did find, guys, is this little product right here. It's called Mr. Funnel. Down inside of here, there is a filter inside and it's hydrophobic. So all that basically means is it repels water. It will let the fuel go through, but it will not let the water go through that funnel. That's what it's supposed to do in theory. I picked this up, it was like 20 bucks. And I thought, man, if this works, I can filter this fuel out and save most of it, right? So that's what we're gonna attempt to do today. But before I take the time and go through 7 or 8 of these jugs and find out it didn't work, I'm gonna do it on a smaller scale. And we're just gonna test this filter out real quick and see how she works. All right, first of all, guys, there's a very good chance I could get in trouble. So I went upstairs to the kitchen and I stole my wife's Pyrex measuring thing. But as you can see, man, they're almost all etched off in here anyway. So I'm gonna use the excuse of, maybe I used it because I thought it was going bad. You know, let's just get you a new one. We need one you can read things on anyway. So I did steal that, so I may not make it through this video. Once she finds out, it may never get published. I could be in the doghouse, but we'll find out how that goes. First thing I want to try though, guys, is I want to see how the funnel does with just water, right? I'm going to just pour water in this thing. Let me move these bottles out of the way. If it's truly hydrophobic, we should have no water in the bottom of this thingamajig, Pyrex measure thing or whatever. So I want to crack some old Desante water. Desane, whatever. This is not a plug. I am not sponsored by Desane because I can't even say it. Or believe me, I would know. If they were paying me, I would know how to say their name. Crack it, just straight water. All right, so in theory, nothing should come through this funnel. Let's give it a try. Well, nothing's dripping. Nothing is coming out. I don't know if you can see down in there or not, dude. That's about half full. I'm gonna spill it. That's about half full and nothing is coming out. So that filter is truly hydrophobic. It will not let any water go through there. I'm gonna slush it around. Yeah, nothing's coming out of there. So experiment number 1 was a success. Let's try experiment number 2. Okay, next on the agenda, what I think I would like to do, and I want to measure this to see if it all gets out. And like I said, this is not, all the markings are kind of off of here, but I can see, yeah, you can, Scary, you can see it. So the 8 ounce mark is right there. So that's 8 ounces, so that would be a cup. I'm gonna put a cup of water in here, and then I'm gonna put a cup of fuel in here, and we'll put it all in this and mix it up and see if it separates. So I can kind of show you what it looks like when it starts to separate. Let's do a cup of water. Cup of water. And I think for visual effect, guys, wait a minute, I got an idea. All right, thing number 2 I stole from my wife's kitchen. Blue food coloring, right? So I think I'm gonna put a little bit of this blue food coloring in here. If I get the cap off. Oh my gosh, man, this stuff's a mess. Oh, it's all over me. What? Hey, get it on your fingers. Put it in the water. It's making a mess of me, but it's working. I couldn't get this white thing off of here. This paper thing is stuck to it, but there was enough on the outside that I got all over my fingers. I need a towel. All right, nice blue water. Let's stir that up a little bit. So we got a cup of blue water. We're gonna pour in here. Nice. So almost half, I guess it is a 16-ounce bottle, so 8 ounces is about half. All right, now I'm gonna try to do a cup of fuel. Okay, now this is just straight ethanol-free fuel, no oil or anything added. I'm gonna try to get a cup of that. Ooh, easy. Approximately. Get out of that. Now, I should be able to add this to this. And in theory, the two won't mix, right? So the blue and the fuel, the blue water and the fuel will not mix. So we'll see what it does here. It should sit on top of it, to be honest. Oh, geez, man. Spilling that all over. It's a good thing I'm not a smoker anymore. Whoa, easy. All right, wipe up your mess, Gary. Oh. Boy, that smells something else. Okay, so you can clearly see, hopefully you guys are seeing that, there's a line right there. So fuel on top, water on the bottom. But I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna shake this thing up. Try to get it all mixed up in there. And then give it a minute. See what it does. Yeah, look how quick that's separating. So the water is going down. The water molecules are finding their way to the bottom. There's a lot of bubbles in there. But I have a feeling if I let that settle, we're going to watch those two separate completely and there'll be a perfect line there. A cup of fuel and a cup of water. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break a minute, guys. It kind of looks like those lava lamps, man. Right? It kind of acts like those lava lamps. But I'm going to let it settle a minute and see if we can get those air bubbles out of there and separate that completely and then run it through the Mr. Funnel and we'll see what happens. I feel like Mr. Scientist. I'm doing scientific stuff today. Ha Scary ain't so dumb, is he? Okay, now all that's went through, guys. In theory, the only thing left in here is water, right? If you look in there, it's just water. All the fuel has gone through. That should be good enough to drink, right? Just kidding, it's not bad. I gotta come clean, guys. I'm just messing with you. I haven't actually poured any fuel through there yet. It's still settling. But I thought that might give you a little, he's drinking it. He's drinking it. Look, come here, honey. Look at him. He's drinking it. There's never been any fuel put in here, ever. I'm getting ready to do that next, guys. I'm just messing with you. I did not drink filtered water. It's still water directly out of here, so it was perfectly safe. Don't try that at home. Please don't drink anything in here because it may leave some. I don't know. All right, guys, so in theory, there is actually two ways that I can get this fuel separated from the water. I could siphon, as you can see, it's been about 10 minutes. Still some bubbles in there, but you can clearly see the water division to the fuel, right? So in theory, if I could put a tube in here or even turn it upside down, right? If I turned it upside down, the water would then be where the spigot is and I could siphon it off that way, or I could pull the good fuel off of the top and just stop before I get down to the bottom. So there's all kinds of ways to do it, but we should be able to do it with this funnel, right? So the idea is we should be able to pull it in here and not do any of that other stuff and it should separate the water from the fuel. So after this point, I will not be drinking anything out of this funnel. I promise you that. So we put a cup of each in. Let's go ahead and pour this in there and see if it separates that water out. We should have a cup of fuel approximately and a cup of water. Just gonna pour that right directly in there. Now you can see as I turn it, the fuel will always float to the top. Try not to spill any of this because I don't want it to, our measurements to be off that much, but you can see it's coming through. And that should be pure fuel. Now there's some blue getting in there now. So we should see no blue in that glass Pyrex dish. This is almost all water now that I'm pouring in here. And you can see it's almost stopping. We're gonna let that finish running. I don't see any blue in there. All right, let's pull that out of there. But that is definitely full. Gosh, I hope that's showing up for you guys. That is full of blue water and a bunch of particles, man. There's all kinds of trash in there that evidently that filter picked up. Gosh, I don't know if that's showing up for you guys or not. If I tip it any further, I'm gonna actually spill it everywhere. I have a canister over here that I'm dumping this bad stuff in. So I'm gonna dump this out over here and we'll come back and take a look. I do see some little blue particles in there. Oh no! All right, I dumped that over in a container that I'll dispose of later. And gosh, you should see, now that was a fairly new, fairly clean bunch of fuel other than the water in it. And there was all kinds of debris that filter picked up. But let's look at this and see what we got. We got almost a full cup. But if you look, it's not quite a cup. So it actually pulled out more than just water. It pulled out some fuel too. I did lose some fuel. I did notice in the bottom of here, there's a little well. So I think that's where, I think even if you just had straight fuel, you're gonna lose some of it because there's nowhere for it to go through the filter there. It's like a little place to trap debris down inside of there and there's nowhere for it to go. So I think even if you had straight fuel, no water, it's not gonna get all the fuel because it's gonna get trapped down in that little dirt well at the bottom. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if it's gonna show up on that camera or not. There is maybe 5 little blue droplets on the bottom of there. Maybe if you get it from underneath, maybe that'll do it. Put a little light on there. I think you'll be able to see the 4 or 5 drops on the bottom of that glass. I think that might be showing up for you that way. You can kind of see it through this way as well. Some of that blue food coloring in the bottom. I think that mark is really close, but I still think we lost a little bit of that fuel, not much. And there is obviously some water left in there, but not nearly a cup full, right? So it did its job. The engine would have no problem running on that. So I'm gonna try to refilter it. I'm gonna go through one more time and see if it gets all the water. Put it back in there. You see that water, I don't know if that's showing up, that water is staying down in that bottom corner. So even if I was real careful, I could probably get it all out of here. See, if I were to stop right now, you can see all that's left in the bottom of that is just a little bit of water, and the rest of that's fuel. So you could almost siphon it all out of there without even putting it through the funnel again. But I'm gonna let it go right back in there. So like I say, I stopped right now. Guys, that would be it. I could pull that out of there and there is no blue in there. That is just pure fuel. There's no water in that at all. So if I were to stop right now, I'd have a cup of water out of that fuel. So the funnel is absolutely working, but we're gonna put it to a test. I'm gonna put it in there anyway. And as you can see, it's in there. See the little blue, or the dyed water is in there. So let's run it through one more time and see if it catches that last little bit. Let it finish dripping. That should all be fuel. Near, 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 near. All right, that's close enough. My arm's getting tired holding this up here. So let's stop this. Have a look at that. That is just pure fuel right there. Filtered twice. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll pour each of these 5-gallon jugs through twice through this filter twice. We'll get all that H2O out, and then we should be ready to go, guys. We should be able to fly it. So it sounds like it's gonna work. I'm gonna put a side note in here too, and I'm gonna do a video on this later on. Let's say you're like me and you have to drive long distances to get non-ethanol or Rec 90 fuel. There is a way to get ethanol out of your fuel, and believe it or not, it's exactly the same way we just did this today. So you figure up the calculations, guys, and for 5 gallons of fuel, if it's 10% ethanol, you're gonna put X amount of water, and I'm not gonna do the math right here because I could get it wrong and I should follow my instructions, but we'll do a video on that later. But you put a certain amount of water in, you shake it vigorously, ethanol will bond with water. So that's the difference between the actual fuel and the ethanol. The ethanol will bond with water. So when you shake it up, it will suck those molecules, those water molecules will suck in the ethanol molecules, and it will put it to the bottom with the water. Now you gotta let it settle for about 24 hours, 48 hours. But when you extract it, just like we were doing today, you have pulled all that ethanol out of your fuel. All right, guys, so we're gonna do this on a much larger scale. If you look right here, I got the Mr. Funnel all set up into an empty jug. The jug is clean, nothing in it. And we also have the bigger 5-gallon one right here. So let me turn this light on. If you look at the bottom, you can see the line right where the water is. All the way across there, and they're all like that, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour this jug into that Mr. Funnel twice, and hopefully when we do this again, we won't see that little line down there. But come on, Mr. Funnel. Do your job, my friend. Do your job. Holy crap, guys. That was one 5-gallon jug, first time through. Look at the crap that it picked up. I don't know if you can see that in there. Look at all that, nasty. It doesn't smell much like fuel. Holy crap, what the, my gosh, man. So I was using this towel, guys, this shop towel I got to wipe up some of the spilled fuel, and look what it did to the bottom of my soles. Oh my gosh, man, my shoes are melting. Look at that. Freaking melted my soles, man. Oh, it's sticking. Get off me. Get off me. That fuel absolutely melted the soles of my shoes. Look, I got a little footprint all over the garage. I think we're gonna take this outside. I don't think we're gonna do this in the garage anymore. We're gonna go outside, even if it is a little cold today. Anyway, guys, look at that crap. It did give me that much fuel. I mean, so in theory, that's all good fuel. I'm gonna run it through one more time, but we are gonna go outside and do it. I don't know what's going on, why that's melting my shoes. So this is gonna be, we're gonna dump all of that nasty water out of there. This is my waste jug, so let's pour this in there. Oh, look at it, it's like chunky, man. Oh, so nasty. All right, so let's filter that through one more time. Outside. All right, so second time through, guys. This is what we got out of it. Again, not completely all the water the first time, right? So that's been run through twice. So let's set it back up, the can back up, and shine the light through it and see if there's any more water in the bottom of this jug. Shine the light through it. Guys, I don't see any kind of separation line. There's no water in the bottom of that. Woo, no water in the bottom of that jug at all, guys. So Mr. Funnel is doing his job. I just got to do it to 35 more gallons. So I guess I'll get at it and get the job done. I'll let you know how the rest of it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them bad boys. And I am tuckered, man. That's a lot of lifting and pouring, lifting and pouring. I did each of them twice, so that's what? I'm amazing at math, right? I'm amazing at math. So 8 5-gallon jugs done twice. That's 40 gallons. 80 gallons, guys, has been filtered through the through the My Funnel, or Mr. Funnel, I guess it's called. And it did great. It got a lot of sludge, a lot of stuff that was in the bottom of those things. I had no idea was even there. So not a single line of water in any of those. Not a single drop, not a single dribble of water other than my sweat, my hard sweat I put into that. So I guess that's it. Lesson learned, guys. Nothing I think I could have done about it. It was just, it was the gas station's fault, which, by the way, I will say they did give us a full refund and offered the disposal of the fuel. But I had other ideas, as you can see right here. So we're going to be flying those bad boys for free for a little while, right? Just a little sweat equity from my end. But in the meantime, guys, I don't know why you wouldn't want one of these Mr. Funnels. I mean, they seem to, it's just like a precautionary backup. You never know when you get a little bit of water in that fuel. I would recommend get you one of these, run your fuel through it. It isn't gonna hurt anything. If anything, it might help. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in, watching all my trials and tribulations, having some fun with Mr. Funnel, and just hanging with me today. I really appreciate your company. Thank you so much. Till next time, you know I love you, and hopefully I'll see you in the skies. Till next time, guys, thanks for coming along. Scary Barry out. Have a good one. See ya.